If you feel like giving up, watch this video first. There are moments in life when everything in you wants to quit. When the weight of your problems feels too heavy, the silence from your prayers feels too loud, and the road ahead looks too long. You start asking yourself, what's the point? You feel invisible, tired, and worn down from fighting battles no one even knows you're facing. But before you throw in the towel, before you give up on the dream, the calling, or yourself, you need to hear this. Because sometimes the moment you feel like quitting up is the exact moment you're closest to everything you've been working for. Quitting is easy, but greatness lives in endurance. When life hits hard, and it will, the simplest thing to do is to stop, walk away, throw up your hands and say, I'm done. That's the default response when the weight gets heavy and the way forward gets cloudy. But here's the truth nobody likes to hear: quitting never brings peace. It just delays purpose. Because deep down inside, you still know there's more in you. That fire doesn't go out just because the road got hard. It just flickers, waiting for the wind of faith to light it back up. The people who achieve greatness, who change their lives, who leave legacies, they are not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who refuse to let difficulty define their destiny. Every person who ever did something extraordinary had to face a moment of decision. That moment where they asked themselves, do I keep going or do I walk away? And the difference between failure and greatness was in that choice. See, quitting takes no discipline. It takes no backbone. It's the path of least resistance. But endurance? That's where champions are born. That's where the real growth happens. That's where you meet the version of yourself that doesn't just dream, but builds. And that building comes with sweat, tears, frustration, and a whole lot of moments where nothing seems to make sense. But those who push through, those who endure, they come out stronger, wiser, and equipped with something quitting can never give: grit. The road to greatness is paved with tests. It's uncomfortable. It's lonely at times. You'll be misunderstood. You'll question your own value, but it's in those moments that you learn who you really are, not when things are smooth, not when people are clapping, but when it's dark and you're the only one cheering for yourself. That's when you find your voice. That's when you learn to clap for yourself, pray for yourself, believe in yourself when no one else is doing it for you. That kind of endurance builds a foundation so solid, no failure can shake it. Quitting robs you of what's on the other side. You might not see it right now, but there's something waiting for you that only you can unlock. A door that only opens with your persistence. A blessing that only shows up when you refuse to back down. You think you're in the fire to be destroyed, but what if you're in it to be refined? What if this is the exact pressure needed to break you out of average and push you into your assignment? That doesn't happen through quitting. That happens through pushing, through staying when you want to run, through praying when you feel hopeless, through moving forward when standing still feels safer. There's a quiet power in endurance. It's not loud. It's not glamorous, but it's the secret behind every success story you admire. That athlete who trained while nobody watched. That entrepreneur who built their dream on empty pockets. That parent who held the family together through chaos. Endurance is their secret weapon, and it can be yours too. So don't fall for the lie that quitting will solve the problem. It won't. It just replaces one kind of pain with another: regret. And regret is a heavy burden to carry. But when you endure, even in the smallest ways, you build something inside that no storm can destroy. Keep showing up. Keep fighting. Greatness is on the other side of this struggle, but only for those who are strong enough to keep going when everything in them wants to stop. Your struggles are preparing you for the next level. It might not feel like it right now. In fact, it probably feels like your life is falling apart. Like everything you touch turns into pressure, problems, and pain. But what you don't see in the moment is that these struggles are shaping you, not breaking you. Every hardship you face, every setback you suffer, every disappointment that hits your heart, it's not pointless. It's preparation. Life doesn't hand out growth in comfort zones. Growth lives in the uncomfortable, in the unknown, and in the painful lessons nobody asks for but everybody needs. You don't become stronger by coasting through life. You become stronger by surviving what you once thought would break you. Think about it. You can't step into a greater purpose with a small mindset. You can't walk in power with weak discipline. And you can't handle success with immature emotions. That's why the struggle comes first. That's why the storm hits before the sunshine shows up. Because struggle is life's way of building the foundation strong enough to carry the weight of your future blessings. If everything came easy, you wouldn't be ready. You wouldn't know how to handle pressure. You wouldn't know how to lead, how to persevere, how to fight for what matters. Struggles give you the tools that comfort can't. And here's the hard truth. No struggle, no strength. You don't get the muscle without the resistance. And most times, your next level requires a version of you that you haven't become yet. That's why life will put you through situations that stretch you, that test your patience, that challenge your faith, not to punish you, but to promote you. But you have to pass through it. You have to be willing to endure the season you're in, even when you don't understand it, because the wisdom and toughness it gives you can't be found in any book, video, or motivational quote. It's earned through experience. It's earned through nights you cried yourself to sleep, but still got up the next morning. It's earned through days you felt forgotten, but still chose to keep going. The struggle is refining you. It's stripping away the distractions, the fear, the comfort, the excuses. It's forcing you to decide, are you going to give up? Or are you going to grow up? Are you going to retreat or are you going to rise? The level of pain you feel right now, it's not meant to end you. It's meant to evolve you. You're becoming someone new, someone wiser, someone more resilient, someone with a deeper purpose, a greater calling, and a stronger will. You may not see the reward right away. It may not show up tomorrow or next week, but trust this, nothing you've endured will be wasted. Every tear, every failure, every delay, it's building something in you. And when the time comes and the opportunity finally arrives, you'll realize that you had to go through it so you could grow through it. That's the price of elevation. That's what separates the average from the anointed. That's what takes you from surviving to thriving. So don't resent the struggle. Respect it, because it's doing more for you than success ever could. Struggle gives you character. It gives you clarity. It builds your capacity. And when the next level shows up, and it will, you'll be ready for it. Not because you skipped the struggle, but because you endured it. That's the preparation. That's the process. And that's how you rise. Most people quit just before the breakthrough. It's one of the biggest tragedies in life. People give up when they're just inches away from everything they've been working for. The reason? They let exhaustion drown out expectation. They confuse delay with denial. They mistake struggle for failure. What they don't realize is that the darkest part of the night is always right before dawn. That moment when you feel like you can't take one more step, that's the moment you're about to cross over into something greater. But if you give up there, If you stop right at the edge, you'll never know what could have been. You'll walk away with pain and regret, not because you weren't capable, but because you didn't push long enough. The truth is, breakthroughs don't come with warnings. They don't announce themselves. They don't knock politely. They show up after the storm, when you least expect it. But they only come to those who refuse to quit. You think the process is pointless because the progress is invisible. But behind the scenes, something is shifting. Every time you keep going despite the odds, every time you keep moving with nothing but faith, you're laying another brick in the wall of your breakthrough. Just because you can't see it yet doesn't mean it's not real. Some of the greatest blessings take time to show up, not because you're not worthy of them, but because you're being readied for them. See, the pressure you feel right now is often the final test. It's life's way of asking, do you really want it? Are you really committed? Are you ready for the responsibility that comes with what you've been praying for? Because a breakthrough isn't just about success. It's about sustaining it. It's about being prepared emotionally, spiritually, and mentally to handle the next level. And that preparation often comes disguised as hardship. That's why people quit. They think the pain means stop. But really, the pain is a sign that something is about to be born. You don't walk away from labor when the contractions get strong. You lean in because new life is coming. It's heartbreaking how many people leave right before their blessing. They close the business right before it takes off. They give up on their dream the day before they were going to meet the person who'd change their life. They stopped speaking life over themselves when their breakthrough was only one more battle away. You have no idea how close you are. But I promise you, if you're feeling resistance, if you're feeling tired, if it feels like the heat has been turned all the way up, that's not the time to quit. That's the time to push. That's the time to dig deeper, even if it's just one more step, one more day, one more prayer. Your breakthrough is on the other side of this moment, not next year. Not 5 years from now. This moment could be the one that changes everything, but it requires you to hold on, to stop measuring your worth by your current struggle and start believing in the process. Winners aren't the ones who had the easiest journey. They're the ones who didn't walk away when the dream got heavy. They stood in the fire until it refined them. They kept planting seeds even when the soil felt dry. And eventually, they saw a harvest that made all the waiting, all the tears, all the frustration worth it. So if you're thinking about quitting, don't. Stay right there. The blessing is closer than you think. The finish line is just ahead, even if you can't see it yet. Keep walking. Keep believing. Keep showing up. Because most people quit just before the breakthrough. But you're not most people. You're about to make it. Your pain has a purpose greater than you know. Pain never feels good in the moment. It's uncomfortable, it's heavy, and it can make you question everything. But pain is never wasted. It's not just there to hurt you. It's there to shape you, redirect you, and even wake you up. Life doesn't use comfort to get your attention. It uses pain. Because pain forces you to look deeper, move differently, and grow stronger. You don't develop wisdom on the mountaintop. You gain it in the valley. That heartbreak, that setback, that moment when everything felt like it was falling apart, it didn't come to destroy you. It came to develop something powerful within you that comfort could never teach. Most people try to run from pain. They numb it, ignore it, or bury it so deep they pretend it never happened. But what if the very thing you're trying to escape is the thing that's going to unlock your greatest strength? Pain doesn't show up in your life without a reason. There's a lesson inside it, a revelation, sometimes even a redirection. Maybe you were going down a path that wasn't aligned with your purpose. Maybe you were settling, thinking too small, or living in fear. Pain shows up and says, no, not like this. You've got more in you. And it shakes everything until you start seeing clearly again. It's not the enemy, it's the invitation. Pain also creates empathy. You can't truly understand what someone else is going through unless you've been through something yourself. Your pain gives you the power to relate, to connect, and to lift others up when they're in their darkest place. Your story might be the light someone else needs, but you don't get that story without going through something first. Every scar has a story. Every wound you survived is proof that you're stronger than what tried to break you. Don't hide your pain. Let it speak. Let it teach. Let it elevate your purpose. There's also a purpose in timing. Sometimes pain is the only thing that slows us down long enough to reevaluate our life. We get so busy chasing success, trying to meet everyone's expectations, that we lose ourselves. Then pain comes in like a storm and forces us to sit still. And in that stillness, we finally hear the voice we've been ignoring, our own. We start to remember who we are, what really matters, and what we were created to do. Pain clears out the noise. It refocuses the vision. It strips away the fake, the shallow, and the unnecessary. You come out of pain different, not just hurt, but wiser, stronger, clearer. And here's the truth: nobody escapes pain. You can't live a full life and avoid suffering, but you can decide what to do with it. You can let it define you, or you can let it refine you. You can become bitter, or you can become better. That's your choice. And when you decide that your pain will not be your prison, but your platform, that's when everything changes. You realize that even in the middle of the worst moments, you are still being prepared for something greater. So don't waste your pain. Don't wish it away or pretend it didn't happen. Embrace it for what it's trying to show you. There's power in that pain. There's purpose in that pressure. And if you keep going, if you don't quit in the dark, you'll see one day that the very thing you thought would break you was actually building the best version of you. You may not understand it now, but one day you'll look back and say, that pain had a purpose, and it pushed me into my purpose. Someone needs your survival story to find their strength. You may not realize it right now, but the very thing you're going through, the struggle you've been silently carrying, the nights you cried yourself to sleep, the days you thought you wouldn't make it, someone else out there is going through something similar, and they're looking for hope. They're praying for a sign that they're not alone, that it's possible to make it out, to keep going, to rise again. Your survival, your testimony, could be the light in their darkest hour. But if you give up now, if you quit in the middle of the process, that light never shines, that story never gets told, and that person may never get the hope they desperately need. Your pain, your resilience, your journey, it's not just for you. It's meant to serve others. When you overcome something, when you walk through fire and come out not burned but refined, you carry with you a power that can reach people in ways comfort never could. Think about the people who have inspired you most. They weren't perfect. They didn't live a smooth, easy life. They were the ones who battled real demons, faced real loss, dealt with real fear, and still showed up, still kept going, still made it through. And because they did, they gave you the strength to believe you could too. Now it's your turn. Someone is waiting for your story to be the thing that lifts them out of their lowest moment. You see, strength isn't just about how much you can handle. It's about how much you're willing to share. When you open up, when you speak the truth about your struggles, when you show others that success didn't come without scars, you give them permission to be human. You give them permission to stop pretending. And that's where real healing begins. Nobody connects with perfect. People connect with real, raw, honest. So don't hide your story because it's messy. The mess is what makes it powerful. Because if you made it out, they can too. There are young people watching you, strangers watching you, family members, friends, co-workers, some silently, some openly, watching how you handle life, watching if you'll break or bend, watching if your faith was just words, or if it's real enough to carry you through the storm. And when you keep moving despite the tears, when you keep showing up even when you're exhausted, when you fight for your dream while the world tells you to give up, that inspires, that empowers, that lights a fire in someone else who was about to give up. You don't have to have all the answers to make a difference. You just have to survive and share what you've learned. You don't need a stage. You don't need a microphone. Sometimes your life itself is the sermon. Sometimes your survival is the message. Every chapter you've lived, every hard lesson, every comeback, every time you fell and got back up, it's all building a story someone else needs to hear. Don't silence that. Don't underestimate the value of what you've been through. You didn't just go through it for yourself. You went through it so you could help someone else come through it too. So before you give up, remember someone is watching you, praying for a reason to keep going. Be that reason. Don't waste your survival. Don't bury your testimony. Let it rise. Let it speak. Let it shine. Because your story could be the very thing that saves someone else. And that makes every struggle worth it. If you're still breathing, you still have a chance to win. As long as there is breath in your body, there is purpose in your story. Don't let the world convince you that you've run out of time or missed your shot. You woke up this morning. That means you've still got a chance to grow, a chance to change, a chance to rebuild. Too many people write themselves off too early. They see the failures, the disappointments, the time that's passed, and they assume it's over. But life doesn't end when you fall down. It ends when you decide not to get back up. As long as your heart is beating, you have permission to try again. You don't need to have it all figured out today. You just need to move. Progress isn't always loud. It's not always glamorous. Sometimes it's just the quiet decision to get up one more time, to take one more step, to make one more phone call. And when you stack those little steps over time, they become momentum. Then momentum becomes change, and change becomes transformation. But none of it can happen if you stop now. Don't let your emotions make permanent decisions for a temporary season. Just because today is hard doesn't mean tomorrow won't be better. People love to talk about winning like it's reserved for the lucky few. But real winning comes from staying in the fight, from refusing to quit when quitting feels like the easiest thing to do. Every champion you admire, every success story you've heard, they all have one thing in common. They didn't stop. They might have failed. They might have fallen, but they kept showing up. That's the secret most people overlook. You don't have to be the smartest, the most talented, or the most connected. You just have to outlast the voices that tell you you can't. And those voices aren't just from the outside, they're inside too. That little voice in your head that says you're not good enough, you're too late, you've made too many mistakes, that voice is a liar. Silence it with your effort. The truth is, you might be one decision away from a whole different life. One risk, one act of courage, one moment of faith. You don't know what's waiting for you on the other side of this hard season. But you'll never find out if you stop now. You've come too far. You've endured too much. Don't let it be for nothing. You didn't survive what you survived just to quit here. You didn't walk through that fire just to sit in the ashes. Rise up. Shake it off. Get back in the ring. The fight isn't over. The story isn't done. You're still breathing, which means God isn't finished with you yet. And even if nobody sees your effort right now, even if it feels like all your hard work is going unnoticed, keep going. Success isn't always loud. Sometimes it shows up in quiet breakthroughs, in private victories, in the moments when nobody's clapping, but you choose to clap for yourself. Keep doing the work. Keep believing in the vision. Keep fighting for the version of you that refuses to give up, because eventually that work will pay off. The tide will turn. The breakthrough will come. Don't let your current struggle trick you into thinking your story ends here. It doesn't. It can't. Not when there's still air in your lungs and purpose in your soul. You have more in you. You were built for more. So get up, stand tall, and take that next step. You may not feel strong, but strength isn't a feeling. It's a decision. And when you decide to keep going, even in your weakness, you prove that you are stronger than everything that's tried to stop you. If you're still breathing, you still have a chance to win. Believe that and keep moving. So if you're feeling like giving up, hear this loud and clear: your story isn't over yet. You've still got breath in your lungs, and that means purpose is still pulsing through your life. Quitting might seem like the easy option, but you're not built for easy. You're built for victory. Every pain you've felt, every tear you've cried, every setback you've endured, it's all shaping you for something greater. You may not see the finish line, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Keep going. Keep believing. Somebody needs your strength. Somebody's watching you fight, and your fight is giving them hope. Don't give up now. Your breakthrough is closer than it looks. You're still in the game, and as long as you're in it, there's still time to win.